Okay, so I am terrible at this YouTube thing. No, I know you're supposed to like do intros and everything you do, explain what you're doing it before, but my ass forgot. So, prep brain. It is Thursday at about 3:30. We just left Pro Physiques, which is out here in Gilbert, Arizona. This is where Whitney Jones, my coach, and Damien train at. They have a really, really dope facility. I flew in here in July to get my routine choreographed, so I was excited to go back. Did a little depletion workout, just upper body, about 30 minutes, just to get that blood in the muscle, get out a little bit of water, and then ran through some routine practice. Died as usual, and then I did a ice bath. So they have a really cool ice bath machine in the gym. It makes its own ice, which is dope and terrifying also, because this is my second one that I've done, and I'm just getting used to it, but it wasn't that bad. And the point of that is to just kind of control your breathing. After the first minute or so I was okay, but it's just like that initial shock of it. But doing an ice bath this close to a show, or just in general, is going to just get rid of that inflammation, and calm your nerves down, calm your central nervous system, and just it's really, really good. And I have never done it before a show, so I was excited, and we'll see. But yes, we are 2 days out. Tomorrow is check-ins, and I still have to get my fucking nails done. Nothing like last minute. So we're gonna go back to the room now, chill, eat a little bit, and I will update you guys. I'll kind of like sit down and do a talk, and tell you about how this prep has gone and the struggles I've had with it, injuries, everything. It has been hard but rewarding, and everyone goes through shit on prep. I don't think I've met one person that hasn't had a story. So everything, it comes with a price. You sacrifice a lot in terms of relationships, in terms of just life, so work even. It's a lot, and it's a very selfish sport. So I would love to talk about that and just kind of bring you guys through what this prep was like for me, the way it was different than previous preps, and how I'm feeling about everything in my life right now. So I'll update you guys shortly, but to go get my nails done. Good morning. It is Friday morning. I woke up in a good mood, so I'm happy. I'm just trying, honestly, I'm like the worst when it comes to stress. At shows, I get in my head so heavy and nitpick everything, second guess everything. Feel like you're not ready. I know my girls, they hear me, and dudes too, like getting ready for a show. It's like, and then you look back and you're like, holy shit, I was lean, like what? But no, so I'm just trying to keep my nerves down. Got up, took some check-in photos. I'll post them here. Coach says that I'm looking good and I'm on point. So, all I'm doing at this point is just trusting him, trusting Whitney and Damien, and knowing that they know what they're doing, and taking that stress off my plate. You're never gonna get the best results if you second guess everything. So I am just letting go of the control, letting them do their thing. We're eating pretty small today, which is different, not weird, but different from what I normally would have done. Most preps I peak, I like cut carbs completely, deplete myself the week of the show, and then Thursday and Friday I'm usually, pushing carbs to try to fill back out. But this time he had me keep my carbs very high this entire week. Monday through Wednesday I was eating a cup of rice with the first 4 meals. So my carbs are very high, and then now they're tapering off. So we'll see how my body responds. Definitely something different. So I kind of wanted to document, and give it my all, and, just trust them and follow their lead and do something different. So today we have about 3 ounces of protein, lean protein, with 2 rice cakes every meal. And it's just that for meals 1 through 5. There's some ground beef in there too. But yeah, keeping it light, depleting my sodium out. We have the athlete meeting today, so we're gonna go ahead and check in, do a seminar, and then get tanned up. And then it's time to lay up and rest up, and just visualize my routine over and over and over again, because I know I got this shit. No matter how much I stress out, I know I can do this. You know, I've been a performer my whole life, and I've been a gymnast for longer than I can remember, and a wrestler. So I know how to do this. I got this. I got to get out of my own fucking head and just do what I do best. So we are heading now to set up the booth because we have a badass booth at this expo with Inspired. So we got Lori and Gino here with us, and you know, of course, Landon. So we're gonna go set up the booth, get that all squared away, probably grab some food as I eat my tilapia and rice cakes next to them, and then just chill. I'll see y'all at the athlete meeting.
So glad this isn't my YouTube channel. This is my fucking YouTube channel. Holy shit.
You weren't even being recorded.
I would have been kicked off. They wouldn't allow me.
This is
shit.
Your YouTube
I would
channel.
never be allowed to be in the IFBB. Not for a day. They wouldn't let me do it.
This man, when I got my placing, this man screams bullshit at the top of his
Someone
lungs.
else did it. They sounded a lot like me. They might have looked like me, but it was not me.
And as much as I love your valor and just like how much you ride for me,
I don't know.
I was like, it was bullshit. Anyways, but we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah.
So
that's getting cut out.
We booked tickets home to Houston. You know, after the show, I was just frustrated because the feedback was that my routine was too slow, which is fine. My routine was too slow, I think, and then I didn't do a strength hold. So, you know, the last week at Wings of Strength, it was an all-female panel, and 2 of the judges were Olympian fitness girls. So they were very looking. They were looking for very specific things in terms of like the requirements for the fitness division, you know, and that kind of like super high energy, a lot of jumping. The reason I took some of that stuff out was because my back has been bothering me like fucking crazy. So I wanted to make sure that I could, 1, just get through the routine, and 2, I was highlighting the things that I was good at. You know, I'm very explosive normally and like very high energy. So to get that feedback, it was kind of like a little disheartening because I've been struggling so bad with my back. I haven't been able to even run my routine. Saturday was the first time I ran my routine all the way through. Like
literally, like she never, she wasn't even healthy enough to, like she said, have like a full out dress rehearsal, throw it as hard as she can before the show, because we were worried that it would, you know, kickstart that inflammation cycle in her lower back, which has been giving her issues. And like, we're not aware if, actually we are pretty certain she at least has a herniated disc for sure. She might have sprained her SI joint as well. She has something torn probably in her ankle as well on her left side that's causing a massive imbalance throughout her entire body. She has 5 or 6 things that she needs to get checked out ASAP, and instead of doing that, she's competing again. Yay, so that's fun. But you know, if ever comes the day that she decides to make health a priority and get healthy, it's really going to be dangerous for these people, you know. But we'll see what Handicap K can pull off this weekend.
Let's see what I can pull off. No, but really though, like 4 weeks out, even 6 weeks out from the show, you know, one morning I was like, babe, I can't even go into a handstand and transfer my weight. I couldn't jump, I couldn't land, I couldn't take off from one leg. And this was 6 weeks out, and he was like, babe, just like, let's, you know, put the show on hold like a normal person would do. But my stubborn ass was like, no, fuck that. I committed to this shit. You know, my body was looking the best it's ever looked, so I was like hung up on like my physique aspect, which I won the physique round for this show. So we're gonna try to hold it together, keep it super tight, come in even a little bit drier, and try to get that spot again on the physique round. So my body was looking great, and I just like couldn't get it through my mind that my physical ability like wasn't there.
And it's not just that, like whenever you don't have the ability to run through everything, you don't have the ability to like see certain cues and see where you're going to need to catch your breath. or find where you could potentially go off time. She wasn't able to have any of these, factors catered to
at all.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so like instead, as you were saying,
instead we had to completely just protect her body. So instead it was keeping her legs elevated, making sure she was not doing anything high impact. Even her training, like the last 3 weeks, she wasn't doing anything at all.
I was barely even working out. Like I was at a point where literally the only thing that I could do was the rogue bike, like the assault bike. That was literally all I could do. So I would just go to the gym, I would do the assault bike in 2-minute intervals, because our routine is 2 minutes, to try to like keep my endurance up. But it's just not the same. So like on Saturday, watching my routine back, I can definitely see where like the transition parts were a little funky. Like you could see me almost think like I was thinking about the next move, and just like a little bit hesitant going into moves as I was trying to protect my back, and just like a little scared because I haven't thrown it. So we're gonna just go in. I'm gonna just kind of go on stage, black out, and just fucking roll, hype that entertainment portion of it. I struggle with that the most as a gymnast. It's just like very focused and pretty, and I concentrate on my form, so like all of my moves look perfect, but it's just that entertainment value. Like the judges want to be entertained, so it's playing to faces and just making sure that I'm fluid in between transitions and keeping that energy up. That's what we're going to try to do this weekend. So we drove around all day trying to find a gymnastics gym, and that was a failure. I don't know why it's so hard. I mean, we found a few, called everywhere, and everyone was like, no, we only cover liability up to 18. And I'm like, why the fuck am I 35 years old trying to go to a gymnastics gym? But that's another point.
I mean, they can let you sign a waiver.
I know.
It's not really hard.
It's really just, I didn't think it was that hard to find a place to work out, but I wanted to do that so I could literally just go through my routine actually full out and feel that over and over and over again, because it's just reps. It's just putting in the reps until you're comfortable we don't have to think about the routine, and you can just fucking go, So we are at the gym now. We're at like some dope ass South Reno athletic club place. I'm gonna check it out. Gonna try to choreo. Oh, and another thing, I'm changing my routine completely. So we subbed out, because they said it was too slow, we subbed out Suicides, which I'm so sad. Take my baby out. Anyways, we subbed it out for another song that is super high energy. So I literally have 3 days to choreograph 30 seconds of just high intensity movements that go with the song and the flow and everything. So that's what we're here to do.
Make it, learn it, memorize it, and try to build some kind of like
endurance with it.
Specific endurance, which is essentially impossible, right? Like I don't know. It's insane how much more exhausted you get when your body isn't used to going through that movement. I don't know if it's just the brain power it takes to think about how it happens, or the fact that muscle memory hasn't kicked in yet. I'm not exactly sure the science behind it, but it's quite ridiculous how fast you can build like movement specific endurance towards a set of things. Like I remember when I was in the Marine Corps doing like the combat fitness test, every time I did it I got faster even if I wasn't in better shape. It's just little things like that. I mean, that being said, I did drill the fuck out of that shit, but not telling anyone to just go and do it a bunch of times and expect to get better. Like seriously, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but really that's what it takes. It takes reps. So like ideally I would want to be practicing this routine, have my routine memorized and be practicing it for like 3 to 4 months before the show, like over and over, running it full out at least 3 times a week, just gaining that endurance, gaining that comfortability, seeing where I can look at the judges, seeing where I can play to the crowd, stuff like that. And without having the ability to do that, that's where I just kind of struggled a little bit last week. So we're going to try to fucking make it happen, do what we can, and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
This is my time. I'm on the ride.
Okay, so we are 3 days out. I don't even know what day it is anymore. I haven't been home. We haven't been home since last Wednesday, so been over a week on the road. We're here now in Reno. I keep thinking that we compete on Saturday because I don't think I've ever competed on a Sunday before, but we're competing on Sunday. So we're about 3 days out. We are 3 days out, 2.5. We take some check-in pictures real quick, eat some more tilapia and rice, and rest up. So we are at the athlete check-in. All my fitness girls.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down. I'm too fly. This is my time. Ready to shine. Brighter than all of the lights. 'Cause when it's game
Made it back to the hotel. Just left the athletes meeting. We were there for a minute. It was at 2 and like they were running a little bit behind, so I don't think we got in there till 3, and then with the music and everything, and I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having to like send music and like check music and all that shit. So took a little bit. We just got back to the hotel, ordered a shit ton of white rice from Panda Express because it's just like steamed white rice. I got my little kitchen over there with the air fryer. So today we're loading carbs a little bit. He has me eating 1 cup of white rice with 3 ounces of fish, basically 5 times today. The only meal that is different is my last meal. I have 93% ground beef with just veggies. So we're loading up on some carbs, putting the legs up. My body's a little sore because I had to literally choreograph a routine and practice it and do all that shit what I normally wouldn't have to this close to a show. So my body's a little sore. Gonna rest up so I will be fresh on Sunday. But yeah, we're just laying out. Landon and I are very, very late to Game of Thrones. So we've been like super just intrigued and locked into Game of Thrones as we've been on the road. So I'll lay out, watch some Game of Thrones, and chill out. Tomorrow we don't have shit until 6 p.m. I have tanning. And I'll take some check-in pictures in the morning. I got 1.5 gallons of water today. And yeah, it's weird competing on a Sunday. It's strange. But we're going to make it work. Checked out the expo a little bit. It looks big. It looks like a really cool event. So I'm excited to go check out all the vendors, the stage. They did a really good job here. So it's going to be a good show. We got a brand new set of judges and going to bringing a completely different routine. So we'll see what happens.
Prejudging is a wrap. We got first call outs. I ended up in the center, so fingers crossed. Now we are just resting up for tonight. Bringing a whole new routine tonight from last week. You know, some of the feedback that I got was that I needed more energy, you know, and they wanted my music to be a more upbeat, faster paced. So we switched some things around, re-choreographed some stuff, and my mindset is just completely different going into this week. You know, before I was just so stressed about like letting people down, right? Like, you know, I had such high expectations for myself, and I felt like everyone else did because this is supposed to be like me coming into my element, you know, something that I'm supposed to be really good at. So when I left stage last week, I was just bummed. Like, I was like, fuck, people don't think I'm cool anymore. Like, people don't care about me. You know, I fucking failed. I wanted to like hide from the world, but you know, I woke up on Monday and was like, we're gonna go get this shit. So we're here. We ended up in first call outs this morning, so we're gonna rest up, eat a burger, eat some salt. I like honestly kind of cramped on stage in my calves and stuff, so I'm probably a little bit dehydrated. Gonna drink some Vita Coco, some coconut water, get some electrolytes back in my system, rest up, visualize. I was a gymnast, like the biggest thing that we did was like visualization, and we actually saw a sports psychologist. So we're gonna just like lay down, run my music through my head, visualize perfection, and then go in there with an attitude like, fuck it all, we're here, we're gonna show up, we're gonna do our best, and that's all we can do. So
Well, it has been almost 2 weeks now since my show, which seems crazy. It will be 2 weeks. It will be 2 weeks on Sunday.
Since the first show or since the second show?
Since the second show.
I knew that.
But to be fair, it kind of took us that much to kind of like get back into not necessarily our routine, but just like mentally there. It was an insane 2 weeks. You know, some disappointments, some happy times, you know, but I just wanted to be able to come on here and talk about my experience. You know, going into this, my goal was to kind of show you guys the entire prep and record everything, but mentally, I just didn't have the capacity to be there. You know, it took everything in me to get through this prep. So the last thing on my mind was, you know, filming for you guys, and I apologize for that. I know how helpful it is to kind of see someone go through a prep and everything that they're going through. So, you know, in the future, that is definitely going to be something that we're going to try to do is, you know, show the full prep all the way through.
It wasn't only mentally either, like physically, she just wasn't able to really do what she needed to do.
Yeah.
So it would have been just a subpar example of, you know, a Kayla Rossi prep.
It was a rough prep. I was injured about 6 weeks out. I tweaked my back. We flew up to New Hampshire and I went to my old gymnastics gym, Atlantic Gymnastics in Portsmouth, you know, where I spent the majority of my childhood. So we went back there, we were just, you know, messing around, throwing some stuff, and, you know, I left that day hurting and I was like, damn, I think I did something. And then it just got progressively worse to the point that I couldn't even like transfer my weight like from one leg to another. I couldn't jump, I couldn't tumble, anything. So, you know, going into a fitness show, which I was super excited about because people have been telling me to do fitness, I think, since the beginning of my career because of my gymnastics background, my cheerleading, you know, and now wrestling. It just kind of worked. You know, for me, I had a hard time finding passion in just the bodybuilding part. It kind of got to a point, you know, after last year, placing really well in wellness, but I just didn't feel that passion and that vibe and that energy going into a new prep. So this kind of like, you know, lit a fire under my ass. I was like, damn, I get to like show my athleticism and, you know, the physique and the bodybuilding and kind of combine everything into one. So I was super excited to then get injured and feeling that letdown and not being able to train to the capacity that I wanted. I mean, we went into the show and I hadn't even ran my full routine one time, like not even once. I couldn't physically do it. And on top of that, I had to change everything. I had to, you know, Whitney helped me choreograph this badass routine. And then, you know, as I'm injured and as I'm getting hurt and I'm realizing I can't do some of these skills, I'm like, fuck, well, we got to switch some up. So, you know, we went to Arizona. I got 4th place. As much as I was disappointed, I was like, okay, this is my starting point. You know, we're gonna make some crazy changes. We're gonna my feedback was to bring higher energy. So
higher energy, more high kicks.
Yes. So there's like a few things in fitness that you have to complete, you know, requirements. There's a high kick, a strength move, a push up. What was the last one?
There's the
a split.
There's the strength holds.
A split, I think.
Split.
Yeah, a split. So, you know, as Winnie was describing it to me, she was like, you know, a lot of the judges don't really look for those specific things as long as you have a super high energy routine, you know, you're showing face, you're performing, you have that energy up, those skills are going to kind of naturally be in there. But with the changes that I had to make because of the injuries, some things were missed. So after that show, I was kind of in a point, I mean, Landon and I both were, we were just like, fuck this shit, like, fuck it all. I was hurting, you know, my back hurt, I was disappointed. But I woke up that Monday after Arizona and I was like, nope, I'm not giving up, I'm not a fucking quitter. We're gonna go do Legions the next week. So on a whim, we canceled our flight home to Houston and we flew to Legions to compete the following weekend. And on top of that, we changed our routine again, changed the music again, and you know, basically made something new up with 3 days to go, 3 days out. I was in the gym in Reno just trying to practice this new routine. And I was actually feeling really confident about the changes. You know, we were bringing higher energy, we were bringing, you know, a new vibe, dynamic performance. So I was excited going into the show. Again, got center call outs like we did in Arizona with the physique.
Yeah, killed the physique round both times. Barely any deductions in the physique round. Incredible showing, which is why she wanted to continue and push into these shows, even though I told her my recommendation the entire time before the first show, even after the first show, was to not, honestly not fully send it, because she wasn't going to be able to perform to her max ability anyway. And just being who I am and living with her and knowing what that fallout looks like. I think part of me was trying to avoid it, and after the first show, it was like a super, super poor sport. I didn't agree with, what happened, which is, I guess, gonna happen with anyone who's super competitive and takes that stuff seriously, and, knowing her potential and what she really, it's definitely what she's made to do. I was a little upset at the universe for sure, so definitely apologies to anyone that I offended or upset during that process. Gino, you included, bro, holding the camera over there.
But that's what I think people. That's what I think people need to see though, and need to hear. It's like, we put everything we have into competing, right? Especially athletes at this level, and to go in and get disappointed like that, it's not just our fallout, it's the people that are closest to us. I mean, he's been with me this whole prep, mid-surgery, he had surgery 3 weeks before we flew to Arizona. So just, his injury, everything that I was going through, it takes a toll on you to see your loved one in that much pain and that frustrated. And I take things very, very fucking hard. When I'm not able to perform to my best of the ability, and that's what he was trying to, I think, avoid with me. When he was like, listen, let's just call it this year, and we can come back next year at your absolute best and have that performance that you want, because he knows anything less than first place, I'm gonna be like, fuck this shit. And it's not even the placing, it was more just the fact that I knew that I could do better, right? It was it was the fact that I couldn't run my routine. I couldn't do a full or the skill sets that I wanted to and that I'm capable of. It was just a letdown in every way. And looking back, I probably should have, taken a step back, let my body recover, so I could come into this new division at my absolute top best. So we live and we learn, and at least I got those reps on the stage.
Yeah, I think that it's essentially an equal conclusion that it would have been if you wouldn't have done the shows. Now you have some judges' feedback, you have tenure, you understand what's going on. That one rep that you had in Phoenix, that set you up for Reno, did more for you than the entire 8 weeks of visualizing the routine and trying to just mentally understand what you were about to physically do. So having another chance at a prep where you can do these physical reps, where you can actually achieve that muscle memory and just memorize the choreography to a point where you don't have to think about every single move that you're doing, and you can focus on that eye contact, that crowd engagement, and things of that nature. It's gonna make a big difference. And obviously, a lot of people probably know, I have a fused spine. My L4, L5, and L5S1 are all fused. I've also had a discectomy on L3, but I've been through back pain, I've been through nerve pain, I've been through all of it, and what she was experiencing was 100% nerve pain, both probably from her lower lumbar spine and her SI joint, and that nerve pain is brought on by this inflammation cycle, whatever it is she has going on down there. It's not going to get any better as long as she's continuing to drill this, continuing to practice. And of course we knew continued practice was necessary to be able to do well at the shows. So it's like when you're in that situation, you either keep kicking the can down the road and you keep doing the best you can to give it 80% value, or you take that step back, you give your body the recovery that's necessary, and then come back when you have that opportunity to be 100%, which is what I think we're gonna do now.
Yeah, so I was just for the first time, I was very happy with my body. The prep was pretty easy. I stayed in really good shape last year, so I didn't have to do insane cardio, cut the diet crazy. My body was just working. So, through that prep, I just controlled the controllables in the fact that my body, what I ate, how I was moving, that I could control. The routine side, I couldn't. I just would try. We set up the garage. I was in there hours just trying to fucking get my back to feel better, trying to practice the moves, trying to practice the strength. I haven't done gymnastics type stuff versus just like throwing back tucks here and there, but I haven't done like a performance where I need to do fly push-ups and press handstands and all the stuff that I could do when I was a kid. It was, kind of bringing back those skills and not being able to do it because my back was hurting. And I had 2 back surgeries too. So we're very familiar with the back pain cycle, and I made a commitment, and once I make a commitment to something, it's just like, nope, we're going, and I'm stubborn as hell. So, we got 4th in Arizona. We flew to Legions. Again, the first round went great. The first round went great, was like center call outs, got to the routine round, felt good, felt high energy, got on stage and forgot my routine. And it's like really hard to talk about just because, I had that shit, I like, the whole day after, I just keep replaying this moment in my head over and over and over again. My music started a little bit late, so I was like thrown off from the beginning. And then when that new part came that I had changed 3 days before, it was just a lack of muscle memory. I was in the moment, I was trying to perform, I was trying to play to the judges, and I got lost. So I stumbled a little bit in terms of just like, I was just making shit up as I went along. Like the whole second half of routine, once you're off, I just mentally couldn't get myself back. And people were coming up to me like they had no idea that I fucked my routine up, which, gives me a little bit of like solace to know that I still was able to get through it and perform, and not just like stop on the middle of the stage, because that's what I felt like doing. Straight up, I was just like, there was one part where I just like stood there. I think I did like a hand roll. He was saying like, no memory of what I fucking did on stage. I have to watch the video back, but just got lost. So I was not disappointed in the placement that I got. We got 3rd. I was disappointed in myself. I was like, you went through all of this shit, all of these injuries, all this pain, all this time, relationships, everything, like everything was put on hold, and it's such a selfish sport to be able to, to do and to be successful at. So I felt just like I let everyone down. I felt like I let him down for everything that he went to, flying on a plane with a leg that is stuck straight, the time, the money, all of it. I just like felt all this pressure, like, how could you fucking fuck up, Kayla? How could you do that? How could you mess up? And I took it really hard, probably worse than I should have. And, I pride myself on my sportsmanship and how I am in defeat. And in that moment, I just kind of like, it was just a lot. It was just a lot at once.
Your sportsmanship with other people has always been fine. It's when you're upset with yourself.
100%. Like, I'm always happy for everyone, but I just couldn't, I couldn't mentally get over the fact that I messed up. It took me a good week to even just like act normal, because I was so upset. Because you just feel like you're just let down. You're disappointed, you're let down, you can do better. And I just had to realize, like, if I can get 3rd with a fucked up routine, and I can get 3rd at not my best, imagine what I can do if I take this time to rest and recover and come out with a routine that I'm practicing every fucking day, like I was when I was a gymnast in the gym 40 hours a week. We would drill it over and over and over again, so that when the time came, your body just you're on autopilot, you can perform, you can be there, you can be in it. And that's what we're gonna try to do moving forward. We're going to take a little bit step back, kind of refill the cup per se. I don't think people realize, unless you've been through it, how much prep takes a toll on everything. My work suffered, my relationship suffered. It's just hard because you're so focused on that one goal that just nothing matters. So we're gonna take a step back, we're gonna refill that cup, focus on work and everything we have going on. Inspired is insane right now, and we have the Olympia coming up, and as much as I want to compete, I'm excited to be there with the team and put on this badass booth and just, live in the moment right now. We're gonna shoot for an early spring show, hopefully the Arnold. We're gonna apply and see what happens, but the focus right now is to just get my body healthy, get mentally healthy, and start working on a routine now. So when we get back on stage, dude, it's balls to the wall and we're going for that fucking qualification. I promise you.